Part 2 of the Garden Report Dome Theory Countdown of the 75 greatest players ever. The official list starts rolling out tomorrow, Tuesday, day before opening night, or the day of opening night of this season with Nets, Bucks, and Lakers, Warriors. Celtics opening nights on Wednesday. There'll be 25 more that night, and then 25 on Thursday, rounded out. We have reached 47. I don't say 48 because we have disagreed so far on Tracy McGrady. We're going to have to circle back to that. But overall, it's all agreement so far between
Wait a minute.
Nick and I.
Think we did this. Did we disagree? You had Mike out, didn't you? And I said you can't.
No, I had Mike in.
You had Mike in. Okay, good. Did you have Walton out?
I had Walton in.
Okay. Did you have... I mean, we have no time limit now. Let's just go through it. Did you have Dolph Shays out?
I did.
I think you left Dolph Shays. Isn't that the one you said? No.
No, he's out. I think we have all agreed so far except Tracy McGrady.
And Scott, I was on the fence, so I didn't make a decision there yet. I was going to wait to see where we're at.
So you disagree with McGrady. I disagree. I still have Pippen in. So we'll circle back on those as we start making the final cuts. But you have 2 more locks that you want to share on your from the top 50 that was given out in 96. So we're going to add 2 more from your list. Who are your 2 more that we got to add here?
Paul Westphal, I want Paul Westphal.
Really?
In there. Yeah.
Just because of the Celtics, then?
No, I mean, really, he was a Sun. He only played 2 years at the Celtics.
All right.
And he didn't win a championship. He played against the Celtics in 76. He was on the Suns.
So here's my thing about him. I do think you need...
You go ahead, though.
I disagree, but I do think that 70... What Suns team was he on that made the finals? 70...
The 76, the triple overtime, the best finals in history.
Somebody's got to probably... He gets credit for kind of driving that team to where they did, right?
I mean, no, they were kind of a lot like this year's Suns.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but Westphal was definitely... He was a 20-point scorer, you know. I mean, he was a dominant player. I mean, when you look at Paul Westphal, and I know who would disagree with me, they'd agree with you, would be Bob Ryan, and they're very close. But Bob always says he's fringe, you know, and he is probably fringe. But to me, he was 5 times first team all-D. He was an all-star 5 years. I'm sorry, he was first team all-D, or all-NBA. He was a 5-time all-star. I mean, he prolific scorer.
He just passed away too, right?
Yeah, he just died. Young. He had a brain tumor, I think. But I mean, when you really think about it, he had 8 really strong years. So if we're gonna put in guys at 8 years, Paul Westphal was and he was very athletic. I mean, the dude could dunk. The other thing is, you took out 2 people that we didn't tie up on the other, and it just popped in my head. 2 Celtics that we are going to go to war on.
Yep, I did preview that. I couldn't find space for Collins and Parish.
And what criteria? So who would have been, and this is where I get confused on these whole lists, who would have been the people you were just unable to remove? Because Parish and Collins would be on just about every single list.
Well, we mentioned Gasol. You had Gasol in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's one of the borderline guys with them.
No, I have Gasol on my next 25. So, like...
Is he in the top 75 for you?
He's in the top 75.
So he makes the list. He's one of the last guys I had on it. So are we going through 75
too?
Yep.
We're not going through the last 25, are we?
No, we are. We're going all the way to 75. We're already to 50 pretty much.
Oh, well, no, but I mean, we didn't already do the last 25. You didn't give yours.
Yeah, I still got a lot of suggestions here. But as far as people from that original 50,
yeah,
I've given everybody that's I need to be.
So who is the one who has to be removed in order to let Dave Collins in? Let's start there. I can't let you go on. This has nothing to. It of course has something to do with being a Celtics fan, but or whatever I am at this point with the Celtics. But it
well, we'll get there. I want to get through all. I want to get through all the guys we're really going to agree on, so we can kind of come to the edge.
Okay, so when do they come up? I'm just curious.
Right now. Well, you want to you put Westphal out there. Who's your other lock?
I just think because I look at who I would have, like who you brought in that I would not have brought in. I mean,
McGrady.
Westfall. McGrady. You're talking about. I would put in Westfall before McGrady. I'm trying to think. Like McGrady was strong. What's your argument for McGrady?
His height was pretty amazing. He had 2 first teams, 3
Length.
second teams, 2 third teams. He won 2 scoring championships and 7 All-Stars. So, one of the better
There's
wing
no way
scorers
he
we've had.
cannot be in the top 75. He's got to be in the top.
25 and 4 his career numbers.
No,
Now, he
there's
got
no way.
hurt.
I mean, I have him in my top 75, not my not my first 50.
I also got the bias. One of the great Toronto Raptors, one of the formative guys in the franchise.
Well, we know Melo. Melo could have retired, only played
I have
1
Melo
year in
over
the NBA,
McGrady.
but he went to Cuse.
Yeah.
He went to Syracuse. So,
That's when he really endeared himself to me. So it's Westfall, and who else is one of your locks?
I think that was it.
That I didn't bring up?
Kobe. We both said Nick, right? Did we make the argument for Dominique?
Nope, Dominique is a lock for both of us.
So if Dominique, that's what I think of. All right, if Dominique, with his career numbers, is in this, then McGrady has to be.
I agree. Dominique's career numbers, 24, 6, and 2. So McGrady a little bit better of a passer. Wilkins
Dominique
a
was
much
not
better
a great
scorer.
passer. Not great passer. Nick was, but he also had some really 30-point years.
Man, could he
and in the
score.
end of his career, he was bad. Huh?
Man, could he score.
Dominique?
Yeah. His scoring was just impeccable.
And he was also explosive, and Bobby, like, he didn't look it, but he was strong. Like, he'd put the hammer down on a dunk, and everybody'd be like this. You're talking about big guys, tall trees that were like, But Dominique, at the end of the day, he had the same injury as Durant. And he had very similar circumstances. Came back and had just an out of world season, just like crazy good. And then the next year started out career numbers, and by the All-Star break, his knee started to break down.
You talk about
on the other leg.
You talk about guys who, because Bob McAdoo, like, I cannot picture him. He had that one year in the Celtics uniform that I just can't even picture.
Not even 21 games.
I can't picture Dominique in the Celtics uniform.
I could. I remember Bobby, Xavier McDaniel too. The two of them. I was like saying to my big brother, I think we might compete this year. It was like Dominique couldn't even jump over a piece of paper at that point. He was so unathletic.
And he was the best signing in Celtics history at that point, right? Free agency.
Free agency, yeah. Think about that. Think about that.
Lord.
I mean, but really, like Walton, that whole deal, the trade and everything, it was almost like free agency because all parties wanted to part ways, right? So that's how they dealt with that back then, I think.
All right, let's see if we can find some other points of agreement here before we get out of here. You mentioned Jason Kidd. We haven't hit on him. He's a lock.
I don't know about a lock, but he has to be there. Like, we have to talk about him.
Yeah.
Who would we remove to bring him in? Because we have right now 55, right?
Yeah, he's my 16th addition. So we got to get to 25, and then we start needing to make those cuts. And you cut 2 people. I cut many more. So that's when we'll have to start kind of.
So I only have 2 people that I could add.
No, you cut 2 people. Those
27 I could.
Yeah, so you'd add 27. Yep.
Yeah, I got some people on that last 25 that I want to run down too. So where are you at on the final 20 or whatever we're on?
I've added 16. You've added 15. No, you've added 16 too because you put Westfall.
Okay, so let's just go. You want to go 1-1 now, or do you want to keep going the way we're going?
Yeah, we can do that. You got any other you want to throw out there?
Well, like KG.
KG, we've added already.
Who added him?
Us. We talked about him at the very beginning.
Yeah, but we never added him. That's right. You asked me, is KG? And I was like, oh, my God. Yeah, I didn't think we officially added him.
Yeah, we added him. So he's one of the 16.
Here's mine, okay, real quick. Iverson, Pierce, KG, Ray Allen you did not have.
Ray Allen needs to be added.
Absolutely.
As our 17th. Just one of the 5 best shooters ever. And really the greatest shooter before the era of shooting started. He
The era
was
of shooting always existed,
indisputable.
but yes.
The era
Yes.
of volume shooting, where shooting was
The
everything.
era of distance shooting. Distance shooting.
Would Ray have been a great distance shooter?
Would who?
Would he have been a great distance shooter? Would you see him
Ray?
shooting from like?
Yeah, Ray. I mean, but here's the thing. He was. I mean, where they're shooting now is absurd.
Mm-hmm.
It can't. It's not sustainable. I mean, you're not Steph. Not everybody's Steph, right? So,
Lillard.
But to answer,
Lillard's phenomenal out there too.
But and they all have phenomenal range comparatively, but compared to their predecessors.
You know what makes me sad about Ray?
Ray could shoot volume. Let me just finish that because he was in great shape and he had strong legs and he got great lift on his jump shot. He could have done anything. He would have adjusted. I think Ray would have no problem adjusting.
He never made a first team though, huh?
I didn't know that. No, I didn't. If you think about it, they never were really a winning. Who was it? Yeah. Well, no, his Bucks did. His Bucks won, didn't they? They won. They got to like the semifinals.
They made the East Finals, and they lost to who'd they lose to? They lost like a really tough series to someone.
To the Sixers?
Yeah, I think it was AI Sixers, right? In 01?
I think so. But I mean, so I don't know. It's a tough one.
Ray has. By the way,
Ray is definitely in the top 75, and he's definitely a top 3 shooter. He might be the second best shooter ever. Reggie Miller's not. Clay didn't earn that yet. No, I don't think so.
Oh, come on. I mean, Clay's numbers are
how many
ridiculous.
years has he played? I mean, how many years has he played? Let's look at his numbers right now.
Should we debate Clay Thompson out?
I don't know if I have him in. I have him on my list, but he's a question mark.
Clay Thompson made 42% of 4,200 threes, so that's 1,798. He's played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years.
Yeah.
Compared to Ray. Right. Ray still has the most threes ever, right?
Yeah, I think so. But you can't really compare it because Clay has got to come. Hopefully, he's going to be able to recover and be healthy for the rest of his career.
Ray has 2,973 so he's about 1,200 ahead of Clay. 7'4", 29 makes, so 40% from 3 for his career. So Clay's got him by about 2 percentage points, but Ray took about like a couple of thousand more threes. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and the other thing is, I mean, you want to say on Clay because he's been prolific until the injuries, right? I mean, it's year after year after year, but Ray was for every year right up until LeBron's first championship, with the Heat, the first championship with the Heat when he hit that floating 3 in the corner, and I just think Clay. I think he'll be there in the top 100.
Clay benefits from playing with the greatest shooter ever. Yeah,
he does. He's open. That helps too, you know.
Clay has an all-defense second team. That's another underrated part of him is that he's a phenomenal defender.
He's a good defender.
One of the best, but one of the better ones.
He's not hurting them.
5 All-Stars, 2 All-Third teams. So I mean, he's definitely behind. He's definitely behind Ray. Yeah, I think you got it.
Last year.
Yeah, I think you got it. So you would put Clay in as your third best shooter? But I think at the end of the
day, when they do the top 100, they do the next 25, Clay will creep into the top 75 if he gets healthy.
All right, you might have convinced me to take Clay off. We'll circle back to that.
Wow, that'd be a first, man. No, you're fair. You're not a Xanis. Xanis is still yet to be wrong in his 2 years on air here.
I wish Clay didn't. I mean, think of Clay hasn't played a basketball game since before the pandemic.
It's so upsetting what's happened there, and that's just an injury that is still a player killer.
Well, he tore his ACL in the finals in 2019, and then he tore his Achilles on draft night about 1 year ago.
Well, and that's the exact opposite of Dominique. He tore his Achilles, and then a year and a half later, right after the All-Star break, he tore his ACL.
I hope Clay comes back. I don't think it's going to be till 2022.
He'll never be the same.
Second half of the
season.
Not
with a double leg. Max would be a good person to talk about that because he had the knee issues. So you just don't return from that. Not when you have a double like that. Look at Hayward. He'll never be the same. He'll always have nagging injuries now. Yeah, it was like Dominique at the end. When you get that Achilles injury, dude. Bird had Achilles and bone spurs. He had an Achilles injury. That Achilles.
So
That
we
and when you
agree.
start seeing,
We agree on Kidd.
yeah, I think he's got to be there. I mean, I don't know until we get down towards the end. Because I don't know who has to go. But as of right now, Robert Parish and Dave Cowens is on this list.
Was Kidd
name's attached to it.
Was Kidd on your list?
He was on my list, yeah. I mean,
All
I
right.
had my top 15, yeah. He was
So
on
we'll leave
there.
him for now. Let's see. Other locks. We agreed on Bernard King, right?
Yep, I was just looking at Bernard. I have Chris Paul on my list.
I do too. Chris Paul is...
You're shocked I have Chris Paul on my list.
I am shocked. Chris Paul is one of the, let's say, 5 best point guards ever. Is that fair?
No. I think it's top 10. Who are you taking out of that top? That's you always, when you do these lists, you don't look at who you want on. You look at who you have to remove.
Magic. Curry is in my top 5.
Magic cannot go.
Who? Curry's in my top 5 point guards.
I don't know. Do you consider him a traditional point guard? I mean, really? Yeah. He's really a shooting guard. He is a point guard?
Because he runs the offense, even if it's through his shooting or through his passing.
Does he call the plays? I don't know. I don't watch enough of them
consistently. Well, he gets doubled at half court. He funnels it to Green, who plays the high post, and then they dish out to a shooter from there. Their system's so great. They are a joy to watch.
He better not be on your list.
He's not. Man, I want to put him though. You know I did.
I was going to say, then you're putting there's a couple players you're going to put in. Now I have
Chris Paul though, real quick. Chris Paul, 4 first teams, 5 second teams, 7 all defense.
I don't like him. There's no way he's not there.
4 times led the league in assists. 6 times led the league in steals.
And what he just did this year cemented it. He's there. There's no question. He's been the players' union coach. How about Tommy Hansen's not on this list? Oh yeah, we left him. Tommy, Max forgot him, and I was like, man, he put him right back on.
Hansen just missed my list.
What?
Just missed it.
Dude, he won Rookie of the Year over Bill Russell.
I'm willing to listen to
the only award Bill Russell never won.
There's a couple other guys I want to put on still too. So we agree on. We agree on King. We agree on Paul. Let's see who else I got on here. Among the top. We're starting to get into some of these guys. Would you put Grant? Oh, let's go to Dwight.
You have Dwight on there. No, I took Dwight off when you talked about Rob Williams and the blocks.
Just because he blocks.
I know. We see they cut to that was when Bill Russell was still around the Garden a lot, and him and Tommy in the because once the first round's over, they sit in the stands. So Gorman and Tommy and Bill would sit together, and they'd cut to Bill on that, and he'd be going. Every time that Dwight Howard would block it out of bounds, you'd see him going.
Man,
always finger.
I think so. Dwight, I think probably he's not on Russell Wilt level in the rebounding, but among modern guys, I'd say he's right up there with anybody in terms of rebounders.
If he, I agree, but you have to take into consideration that he was absolutely not even neutralized. He was removed from basketball for 4 years because he just was fucked up. Excuse my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so how could you like? There's guys you could get into then that had better careers, were equally as good or nearly.
But that peak, though, again, we've given lots of guys on this list benefit of the doubt because of their peak. That 2008 to 2012 stretch there, where they were just like in the thick of it in the East with him running the team.
It was MVP. He was just immature, but I guess maybe we have to put him on standby, dude. Because like, who are you removing? You've got to say who you're removing if you're adding. Do you still have spots left?
We are at 20 with him for me.
So you have 25 spots.
Mm-hmm. So Grant Hill, you would not put?
No, I don't. What did he do in the like? He had a great college career. He was injured. Like people always do this with Grant Hill, and I want someone just to prove me wrong. Read his numbers. I mean, they're great, but what was it? 4 seasons? Did he have like 5 good seasons?
16, 6, and 4. Probably about the same as McGrady. Very similar career to McGrady, frankly.
Wait a minute. 16, 6, and 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you said McGrady was 26, 16.
No. McGrady was 16.
What's his point total? You got me confused. It's breaking up, Bobby. Say it again.
McGrady had 19. Hill had 16.
What?
Points per game.
Now I heard you. Okay. I'm trying to go like, what is he saying? Yeah, but Hill played how many last seasons?
Hill's
I mean, McGrady was a
total...
Warrior, wasn't he? Didn't he play 20 years? I mean, how many years did he play, Tracy? And where's Vince Carter?
I have Carter on there.
He has to be. He's not on mine. So do I have to remove someone? I'm so confused.
Hey, this is where it gets
Are
tricky.
there anybody in the chat room making fun of me yet, or what?
You got to start giving and taking here. So Grant's on mine, but we're reaching the edge here.
But
Carter,
why is Grant on yours?
His peak. The peak there. If we throw his...
But he didn't win.
Is winning paramount here?
I hate your attitude that winning is not. That's a whole nother show debate. Winning is everything, but in his case, like in Charles Barkley's case or Dominique Wilkins' case, you make an exception because they were so exceptional at what they did that they can't not be there. In the case of Grant Hill, he didn't win, and he had like 4 good seasons.
All right, I'm willing to take Grant off.
Career.
How about this? Here's one of the guys I just left off. Let's make a addition now. Well, no, we've added one of your guys. We'll leave some of the guys that I just left off at the end. But
I don't
I'm
know
willing
if
to
the
take.
Viewers can tell this or not, but I'm lost. I just followed Bobby's lead.
I'm willing to take Grant Hill off. We'll do it now that I've looked at the numbers.
You kind of got it. How many people do you have to remove right now?
Here's my first subtraction. I haven't removed anybody except him so far. I'm sticking with everybody I got to this point. Vince Carter, we agree on. No, you just
removed somebody else. Somebody else I proved you on. I got you right on. You said that who was it? Hang on. Look. It was...
Oh, Clay?
No, Bernard King and Klay Thompson. Bernard King in, Klay Thompson out.
I had both in. I'm going to hang on to Clay for a sec. I'll save him till the end.
Oh, no,
I don't want to take him off because he's that good of a shooter. The efficiency we've seen on his numbers so far.
You hold on to all of them. This doesn't become difficult until the very end when you're forced to remove, and I tell you why you can't. So keep going. Blow through them. I won't comment on any of them. I'm ready to start duking it out.
Making our cuts?
It's all about you, Bobby. I could tell. It's your list. So you know what? Kill it, man, because now let's get to the cuts, and I have got.
So this is one I will not take off, and you need to add him to yours if he's not on here. James Harden.
Not on, won't be on.
James Harden
until he wins a title and he gives up for his teammates.
Now it's all about the title.
I still don't think I could do that. You know why? He wore a fat suit, dude. He is the epitome of what's wrong with the NBA right now.
Wasn't he phenomenal last year, though, once he finally got over to Brooklyn?
He was injured all the time. Did he even play in the playoffs? I can't remember him once in the Celtics series.
Yeah, he got really banged up there. And again,
Bobby, what are you talking about? I mean, like, looking at it, I know why there's an argument for him. And I know I sound like a dunce not putting him in. 6
first teams already. He's got a long way to go.
He's 6 first teams, and he killed locker rooms over and over and over. I mean, why did they go through so many superstars in Houston? He had a great fucking dream team.
Here's the thing, though.
And everybody wanted out.
He took the Warriors team in 2018, which might have been the best.
That's different. No.
Best team ever.
Yeah,
to a 3-2 lead.
Not best team ever.
One of the best teams ever.
Yeah, but not the best team ever.
KD,
in the conversation.
Curry, Clay, Green, and DeMarcus Cousins
that's
on that
another
team too, even though he's a shell of himself.
Bobby is the official beat writer for CLNS, the beat reporter for the Celtics on CLNS. So you know what? Dude, we might be doing these often.
Harden's not in your top 75?
I know, dude. I can add him.
Do you want me to read his numbers?
I know.
Career. 25, 5, and nearly 7 assists a game.
What are his win-loss totals? and it's skewed because he was a sixth man on
In
Oklahoma.
2019, he averaged 36 points per game and 7.5 assists per game for Houston.
For who? And what were the record?
Their record?
Don't tell me. Yeah, what was their record?
Is that the year they went that great?
I think they lost in the first round that year. That's what I'm thinking in my head. I know that it was like, what a wasted.
They were 53-29, 4 seed.
That's not bad. Where was their exit of the playoffs?
Let's see. They would have played the Jazz first round. I think they beat them, right?
I thought they lost. There was something disappointing about. Listen,
they lost to the Warriors in the second round.
Okay, so listen, he clearly deserves to be there. I knew that without hearing the stats. He's going to be one, though, like you're holding on to hope with Clay. I'm holding on to hating with Harden. I don't want to put him in.
You just can't deny the numbers, though, Nick. I mean, his numbers are I think he's one of the best scorers ever. Want to hear his running scoring total from 20?
Right. I mean,
from 2014 from 2014 to 2020, he averaged 27, 29, 29, 30, 36, 34, and then it kind of tailed off into the bubble. But
even that, I mean,
since then he's become a 10 assists per game guy.
I mean, listen, man, you're making an argument against somebody who just got done saying, dude, I get it. Like, I'm wrong, but I don't want to put him on. Well, you're wrong about Clay, but you don't want to take him off. So let's decide in the end.
All right.
Because I know it's like a thing for me with Harden. It's a thing for me with Kyrie. It's a thing for me with Durant. But I got Durant on my list because that's impossible to leave off.
Let's see. We should find agreement here. Wade.
We found agreement mostly. Who?
Dwayne Wade.
He's on my list.
Dwayne Wade's peak was impeccable, but man, did injuries kill him after about that 2008-ish. 2011 was his last great year.
2006, with Shaq was good. They just made each other better, and then Shaq was happy. It just was a nice.
I just loved his game. He was kind of like a grittier Kobe.
Yeah, I could see that. And he. I liked his game. I liked his game a lot. Yeah, I did.
He carried the Heroes finals where LeBron really.
Dwayne Wade, for me, I think his biggest accomplishment. Not his biggest, but one of his biggest accomplishments is his ability to gracefully pass the baton to LeBron as leader and allow him to do it, encourage him to do it in a way that wasn't villainous because it just didn't fit LeBron's attitude.
He was huge. So, he kind of ushered LeBron into becoming the greatest player in the league.
I think he really had. I think he has a lot to do with LeBron's greatness. Period. I know I'm talking about on the basketball court. I think LeBron's an amazing off the court too, from everything you know about. But Wade, I think he's got to be there, man. His 2006.
He has a scoring title too. Not many players on this list have that.
A lot of players have that, Bobby. But Wilt Chamberlain has 14.
No, he's in the top 10. Down here on the lower portion.
Oh, I see what you're saying. The bottom dwellers. Well. We're not doing them in order, remember?
Yeah, Wade's career numbers 22, 5, and 5. Not bad.
I don't think there's a debate there. Plus, he was clutch. He wanted to win. Winning meant something. There's one thing about that generation with Paul and LeBron to a certain degree. No, LeBron definitely. Kobe, Wade. You never heard me bitch back then about basketball integrity or whatever, because those guys wanted to win. They all sacrificed to win. That's missing today. I do think that New Jersey I was nervous with that prediction for disaster because they had the ability to be one of the greatest teams ever.
I thought they would be.
I knew that Kyrie would do this. Not
New
this,
Jersey.
but I knew he'd do something.
Is it because it's New Jersey? They just can't get it done. Oh my God! I said this to you. Imagine if everything that's going on there now was happening on the Knicks. Oh, it'd be on CNN. It is on CNN right now, but
it is on CNN because of Kyrie. But I don't think that I don't think the Knicks have that kind of glow anymore.
They do. when they're really good, they matter a lot. Did you see that first?
When was the last time they were really good, Bobby?
They were really good this year. Home court. Doesn't that count as really good?
Wait a minute. I so agree with you. When they're really good, it matters, and people care, and the league's better. That's just in every sport. New York is necessary. But in basketball, and most people would agree with me, when you really think about it, the New York Knicks are the most overrated franchise in history.
Well, they're about to have a big moment in the next few years because that game they played against the Hawks, the pandemic crowds were just coming back. They were actually the first full crowd in sports coming back from the pandemic for that game, and it was so loud. The way it just tore through the TV.
How was TD Garden for even preseason? Max was saying it was pretty
preseason's been really loud, yeah.
Usually it's empty. Was it full? Not empty. Usually it's a half crowd.
No, it was about half, and it was really loud still. That's what impressed me. Yeah, people are excited to be back in these stadiums.
3,000 people You were there when 3,000 people sounded like 30,000 people. Booing us off the court. But you know what? That's what they missed all season. This Celtics team, I don't want to get on a tangent here, but I do want to slip this to you. And I want the listeners to hear it, if they're not listening live on demand, because I have gotten known to be a pessimist or a negative person with the NBA. I actually think the Celtics have an opportunity to be very, 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 very good this year.
I do too, but I'm
with the very
nervous.
little I know. You know what it's based on? Ime's ability to pull them together, even if he's the common enemy, and Jason and Jalen, and there's another thing. Jason and Jalen finally getting it that regardless of whether they agree, disagree, it's right or wrong, the media is part of their success and their failure. So stop blaming them for everything. They're just doing what reporting what you're doing or doing their job, which is speculate. So stop listening and reading. You don't read it. Yeah, stop reading it, listening to it, and get off your phone. Do what LeBron used to. Shut the phone off all through the playoffs. I think this year, it got rid of them. There was something about that interview that with Forsberg did for Media Day, I think, for NBC. And I won't take too long, but I do want to get this out there. There was something about them sitting together. The fact that you went to that event, Browns in the
Tatum
Seaport,
pulled up in the Rolls Royce.
Dude, remember when we were pumped because Tatum went to Vegas to get drunk and show off his gold medal?
Mm-hmm.
Like, think about where we were back then.
Brown showed up.
Where we are now. We're now talking about him bringing his kid to his teammates' opening. That would have been far-fetched this year.
Yeah, the optics have been great early on, but we also have vaccine issues, COVID cases already, injuries, Rob's hurt.
What was the first issue? Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I agree with you 100%, but this is my last reason, and I think I said it last year too, and I'll stick with it. Jason Tatum might score close to 40 points a game this year.
You think
because the crowd changes him. He becomes this tough swagger guy with the crowd, and when there's no crowd, excuse my expression, but he's a pussy. All he does is whine to the refs. He's pissed off at his teammates. You could see it. And then there's the other factor, which is Brad, for some reason, either they weren't running the plays or he wasn't calling the plays, but he'd allow Jaylen Brown to get lost. So if you have Tatum scoring 30 points a game and Brown scoring 24, 25, I don't see how you're not in contention. Because you still have everything else.
I'm going to make the case as we finish up this list for just about every single great young player in the game today who's making a name for themselves, except Tatum. And this has got to be the year where Tatum really cements himself.
Wait a minute, explain that.
Well, if you think of the best young players in the game today, Jokic, Doncic, Giannis, Lillard. Well, Lillard's not young anymore.
About those names, they're all like Euro is just, and all over the world, basketball. Go ahead.
They are all in the running for the 75 best players ever. Tatum at this point, how long's Tatum in the league? 7 or 8, 9, 10, 11?
I would put Tatum
is his fifth
on my
season
list for the running, with the thought that I am doing what they did with Shaq, projecting his career.
I think we're gonna do that with quite a few guys here, Luka in particular. But
I wouldn't even.
I'm not ready
If
for
you're
Tatum.
gonna, I'm not ready for Luka either. I'm not ready for. These guys are gonna be amazing, but right now, think about Shaq. He was the most celebrated player to come into the NBA probably since Bird and Magic or Jordan, right? Even
But
Jordan came in.
here's the similarity Luka has to
Walton, maybe.
Shaq, is that the things he's done over the first couple of seasons, no one's really done before.
Like what? Break a backboard? I mean, they did that. What did he do? He was with
Doncic.
Orlando. Oh,
Doncic.
Doncic, you're saying.
Yes. He's the
But
youngest
Doncic,
player ever to make multiple All-NBA teams.
Right, but Bobby, Shaq, what was he in his second or third year? He was in the NBA Finals. Went to LA and immediately.
Have you looked at LA?
In his third year.
Have you looked at his team?
Listen, he was on the Orlando Magic. He made Penny Hardaway famous.
Luka doesn't have a penny.
Neither did Orlando before Shaq started doing commercials with them, and they had so much charisma and real chemistry together.
I'll tell you the guys. These are the guys that.
Wait a minute. No, you can't say that, dude, because Shaq and L.A. was not anything to write home about when he went to L.A. either.
Did Shaq have Horace Grant?
Horace Grant? I don't know. I mean, what does Horace Grant do?
Hey, it's better than. Here's the players Luka has made serviceable. In fact, more than serviceable in this guy's case. Tim Hardaway Jr., he just probably got more money than some of the guys that are on this list.
Such a fat guy. Yeah.
Dwight Powell, who was on the Celtics for like 2 days during that.
It's so funny.
Year.
Like we're in the second person, and I'm already trying to remember trying to put his face to the name because I don't recognize it.
Dorian Finney-Smith is a starter next to Luka Doncic. I mean, this is the team that Mark Cuban has put around the best young player in the league.
Like, what is he doing?
They were holding out for Giannis.
Yeah. Well,
they were holding out for Giannis.
I'm telling you, this whole different. Let's go back to the list because I'm going to start back to it. I know. Here's one thing I know because I'm a good instinct guy. You may not agree with me, but after the behavior of the last certain amount of time of our players, behavior is condescending. I don't want to say behavior. Their actions, maybe, or inactions. I think you could see the danger in having imbalanced power towards one side. It has to be balanced.
They were just hoping to get him in free agency.
No, but I'm saying that volatility just could destroy Luka's legacy, his whole career, if they can't recover from that. Think about Duncan when the Celtics didn't get Duncan. It took years to recover from that. Still talked about as a curse.
Is Penny Hardaway on this list?
No.
He was in my mix. I'm going to take him out.
Is Gus Johnson on this list?
He's not. How about Alonzo Mourning? I like Alonzo Mourning a lot for this list.
No, I like him a lot for this list too. He's not on mine. I think I'd have to remove someone.
Let's look at
who's left on your list to add. Are we at 75?
We're almost there. Just a couple more.
Because we need them to start subtracting. That's the fun part. This is taking too long, and I know I'm the ranting one.
3 more gets us to 25. Should we put Mourning in? Let's look at his resume real quick.
You have to. You have to. He's a Hall of Famer.
I mean, the things he did.
Bill Russell loves him. I mean, everybody who's ever played against him.
He's underrated. Not like Robinson underrated, but you don't hear a lot of people talk about Mourning.
No, Mourning gets more respect from his teammates and opponents than he does from fans or media, in my opinion, because he was not a flashy player. He was a defensive player.
This guy's probably going to the Hall of Fame. Chris Webber.
No way.
You don't think so?
I don't think he should go to the Hall of Fame either.
Only reason he wasn't in play to win a championship was
wait a minute.
Team. And they almost beat them.
No, wait. He is going to the Hall of Fame because he was an outstanding college player and part of one of the greatest,
Well, want to hear his career averages?
They're probably like 16 and 10, something like that.
20 and 10. Block, 4 assists a game.
And he's a journeyman. He never really. I guess those Sacramento teams were kind of good, but they're also.
They would have won if the
poorly
Lakers weren't in the way.
They maybe would have won it if the referees weren't fixing games.
2001, he was first team. He led the league.
He had to go against. He had to go again. He was only one-time first team. How many All-Stars?
5.
How many years in the league?
He played from 93 to 08.
And how many years was he out? I mean, the games played, I don't want to know because we'd have to do too much math, but I know he missed a couple years with pretty big injuries. Like he had short games played. I'm sure.
23 and 04.
Yeah, see?
67, 54. Yeah.
Not bad, but 54 was low back then.
42, 96, he had 15. Yeah. He had some real low seasons in it. Injuries.
And if you're going to take out Robert Parish and Dave Cowens, you can replace them with Chris Webber. That's what I'm trying. That's where I'm going. This doesn't get like crazy until you start making your crazy deductions.
Yeah, and there's some guys. There's some guys who are really good today. I want to add too. So Chris Webber is out.
Look at that original 50. Real quick. There's one. How many active players on that? 2? 1. Was Shaq the only active player?
Active? Oh,
yeah.
Jordan.
Jordan was playing. Jordan was in his last year.
And Scottie
Pippen. So you had 3 current players.
Was Ewing playing? 96?
Yeah, he played long. He played for Seattle after that. Yeah, he played long. So you have 3 current players in the top 50, but you're going to add 10 to the top 25. I know you are.
Oh, I'm going to add so many to the top 25.
And you can't. I don't understand how you could do that, but I'll beat you up on them. Don't worry. I know the normal. We agree. I think on the natural ones. Like Harden is more of a statement of hate.
I got one more. We'll agree on.
What?
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah. Read off those stats you sent to me the other night on him.
Which ones?
Not so much the stats, the achievements.
Oh, my Lord. Almost had 3. Should have had. I mean, Jokic was great last year, but like you could say Giannis. You could say Giannis tied him for it. But
you don't count their playoff run and who's the MVP. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Because Giannis, the Bucks struggled a lot this season, didn't they?
2019 MVP. They were the 2 seed. I mean, they just couldn't get over Brooklyn in the standings. Yeah. Or they were the 3 seed because Philly was up there too. So, yeah. Philly had a great season. Brooklyn was better than them on paper. And then the Bucks came in third. 2019 MVP, 2020 MVP, had an MVP season in 2021, but didn't win it. Just came up short. 3 first teams, 3 in a row the past 3 years. 2 years before that, he was second team. Defensive Player of the Year, 3 all defensive first teams. I think he was in the top 3 of voting. I'll say this about him too. He's the only superstar in the league playing the best defense in the league. By far.
And name off his games played each year.
A little low the last 2 years, although the seasons were low. They played 72, right? So it was
and
61.
the year before they didn't even play 8. The COVID year in the bubble, they only played like 5 regular season games, if that, before they went into.
I think they got to 72. Yeah, those teams got to 72.
No, the bubble year they didn't go to 72, did they?
The teams that made the bubble, yeah. So, 61 out of 72 last year, 63 out of 72 the year before that, 72 out of 82 the year before that, 75, 80, 80, 81, 77.
That's what I mean. So I'm remembering his early career, but the point I think is even in today's NBA, missing 60 games 10 years and 8 years into your career is almost a given. Or not missing, only playing in 60 games. This load management bullshit, that's what they all do, man. So
last 4 seasons, he averaged 12 rebounds a game, 28 points a game.
Hey, he might be in the top 10 already if you're ranking them. Those numbers are sickening.
55% from the field.
And he does it in a non-annoying way. Like, he's kind of like cool about it, and he's a legacy player. And I mean, if character, and it doesn't, I guess, but if character has anything to do with additions to this list, he's certainly at the top. I just love his character.
His playoff run this year, 30 points per game, 13 rebounds per game, 5 assists per game.
Dude, why are we talking about that? Why are we spending so much time talking about?
I'm just still giddy about this run.
No. The train wreck in Brooklyn, instead of talking about what is a legend in the making. Right
I put this out there quietly. I mean, I haven't made a big scene of it yet, but
be quiet about it. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know what you're saying.
I think the Bucks are going to win again this year.
I think they could, dude. I really do.
Giannis is unstoppable right now. You can't put anyone in front of him. He shows up at the court scoring 30 points. His clinching game, just before we move on from him, 50 points, 14 rebounds, 5 blocks, and the guy who can't hit a free throw if he moves halfway in
usually
hit 17 of 19 at the line.
That's the difference with Tatum, too. I'm going to tell you what I'm feeling this year is he's going to get to the line. He is going to make – someone is impressing upon him to make him – why, has it not been that way at the preseason?
No,
I haven't watched.
Oh, yeah, he's been great. But I'm just – that run was so great by Giannis. That was – that was so much fun to watch. I know, but I want to go back to
Tatum. Like, you're picking on Tatum, and I really don't think it's – Tatum's issues are more with his character, in my opinion, or – I don't know his character. He's got to build a character.
I think his character's fine. He's basketball obsessed. I think he's very addicted to work.
But is he winning obsessed? Ethic.
I think he's trying to find a way there. I think he's trying to find his role within this offense. How am I going to do what I need to do?
Well, I haven't watched enough to judge at all this season.
I don't think he's done enough to judge. He sat a game. The last game was kind of a joke. No one was playing. So we got to see on Wednesday what he looks like.
Is he made a sitter or a stander?
Stand.
Well-dressed or underdressed?
Everyone's underdressed now. The suit and ties are done.
That's got to come back. At least you got to wear a coat or something.
He voted no.
Look sharp. Who did?
Ime. I think everybody voted no.
Did they take a vote?
Yeah.
They took a vote?
It was 25-5, I think.
How stupid is that? Because, like, just the endorsement deals alone, you can get, like, Pat Riley made more money off of.
I do like the suits. And he looks sharp in a suit.
Huh?
He looks sharp in a suit, yeah.
I would think he does. I mean, I just don't think the coaches should have a right to vote. It's a rule. Like, the league has to have an image. They project the image.
Yeah, that was Stern. Adam's like, hey, wear sweatpants.
But here's the thing. You had an enormous boom in growth under Stern. Look at what you just said about Giannis. This NBA should be the golden era. LeBron, Durant, Giannis. You know, you go down. No, you got in the making. You got Tatum. You got Luka. You got Jokic. You got. I mean,
I hate to interrupt. Red Sox are up 6-0.
Might have to delete that out. If my father sees me cheering for the Red Sox, I'm in trouble.
Oh my, that is unreal. But
how do I have on Chris Cuomo right now? Where's the friggin' remote?
All right, I have one more.
Hyped up on Giannis.
I have one more guy that I think we're gonna agree on here.
Yeah, let's keep going. Go ahead. I can't find the remote. I'm like Johnny Most.
For my 25th, before we really go to war here, Reggie Miller.
No.
No?
No, he has to be. There's no way he can't be in. I just don't like him, but he's got to be in. He wasn't on my list, to be honest. I forgot about him.
He only has 3 third teams, though. He never made a second or a first team. 18-3-3.
Yeah, but he played how many years? He transitioned that team from him to like Paul to what do you call it? Not Paul. Who was there before? What's his name? He's out in Clippers now, out in LA. Paul George.
Paul George, yeah.
He transitioned that well. He loves the Pacers, and he was the all-time leading three-point shooter, whether he was a pure shooter or not, or whether he kicked the leg or not. I hate Reggie Miller.
But
I think he's got to be there.
He missed Ray's percentage by 0.5. Took probably about 1,000 less, but made 2,560, and his record was the one Ray broke, right?
Yeah, I mean, that game was just Reggie Miller was so. It felt like Rick Barry behind the table because he was so bitter.
Yeah.
Like it was so obligatory to give him a hug. You know what I mean? It was just uncomfortable. It was awkward, and they always team him with Marvelous, and that was a train wreck because Marv's not been. Anyway, let's go. Let's keep going. We should do an all-time broadcast list someday. That'd be fun.
We'll get there. All right, so now we have to start. I've made my 25 case. You've disagreed with 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. Yeah, 4. So
well, let's name them off. Go ahead. Let everybody hear them.
James Harden, unbelievably.
That one was begrudgingly. That's going to end up in.
He's going to end up in. Tracy McGrady, we'll see. I think there's a chance he can end up out.
I like Tracy.
Dwight, I think, is going to sneak in.
He's going to have to go, man. You can't put in Dwight Howard over Dave Cowens. You can't.
Clay.
Robert Parish is tough, but Clay's out, bro.
All right.
But we won't know. Who has to be taken out now to add these players in, I think, is the question that we have to ask, right? That's where it gets touchy. We have to figure out. Robert Parish is obviously coming off your list to make room for one of these guys. Which one?
For some of the guys I haven't mentioned yet, who have some really good cases. Yes, this is where we start. I'm going to add some. If you got any more that you want to add, we can bring in. But I'm going to make some suggestions here. We have agreed, though, that
let me just see, because we keep forgetting about me here. Let me just see if I'm adding any. I don't think I am. I think I'm done. We said
you're done?
Kidd, Melo, Peyton, Gasol is on the fringe. Not Nash, or Bernard, Curry, Duncan. I had Duncan twice, so that's good because now I have an extra spot. LeBron, Chris Paul, Ray Allen, KG, Paul Pierce. I have all three of them together. And then, of course, Allen Iverson.
Yep, so we agreed on all those guys.
I have Kobe in the top 50. So I put Kobe. I replaced, Paul Arzen.
So let's bring – all right, Paul Arzen's out.
I can't even tell you who he played for. He's the only guy in the top 50. I can't tell you.
So my first suggestion to replace him, let me bring one that's really good that you're going to like.
Wait, you got to define how many slots you have to bring these players in for. Because we got to know who's coming in. You know what I mean? I feel like we're well over 75.
10, 11, 12, 13. I replaced 14 guys.
You took 14 legends out for today's players?
Mostly. Yeah, I think all the guys that played before are out. No, there's one other guy who's retired. But I'm going to make a case for a number of today's players.
The retired guy. Just put him in with today.
Vince Carter's locked. I think.
All right,
we might have to.
This is going to be a bloodbath for you. I'm sorry.
All right.
And I don't even have anything to Google. Let's do it.
Let's start with the guy who just has the numbers. The numbers that are so hard to deny. Russell Westbrook.
Who are you removing?
Let's go with Arizona.
Yeah, put him in.
Russell Westbrook, 23, 8, and 7 in his career.
I'd rather put I don't care about his numbers because he got fed assists. He got fed. They gave him the ball. Oscar Robertson did it for real. They fed him the ball.
But he did it in 5 different seasons.
But
4 different
they
seasons.
Don't win. It doesn't make his teammates better.
Listen, I'm not a fan of him. I just think I just think his resume he has an MVP.
But I've never seen any player average a triple-double and not make their teammates better. And usually you can't tell until they start feeding him so he could give out assists. I haven't watched him in so long. He's so rude to the media.
He was really good last year. He made that Wizards team much better.
Whatever. I mean, fine. That's great. But they weren't good. Were they good?
That knee injury he got, I forget what year, really knocked him off what he was before. But before, he might have been the most athletic player.
Ego knocked him off. You know what? He's too busy out there putting movies in or putting in reality shows. That locker room, he is the reason why I think it's not going to work in LA. Because I think he's
It'll work in the
Two,
regular season. He just can't
I don't
shoot.
think.
It's a killer.
No,
I
I
mean, his
know, but
shooting is
then
horrible.
it is. But him and LeBron, everybody says LeBron doesn't want to have the ball in his hands. He doesn't want to be a point forward, right? Yes, he does. They play best when LeBron. Any team is going to play better when LeBron has the ability to score or facilitate. In Russ's case, he has to have the ball in his hands, and he sucks the life out of the room.
I just hate that argument. How many players could put up in his MVP year, 30, 10, and 10 if they tried? Like, you can say, like, oh, they fed it to him, they got out of his way on the rebounds. Like, he had to have the ability to do that. His vision's impeccable. 2017 Thunder.
And on top of that, that was his first triple-double average, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that year they fed him to the
They
point
were 47
where
and 35.
Yeah, they were bad, and they weren't bad, but they were average, and they probably were a first-round bounce.
Their finish was a first-round bounce, so the Rockets.
Yep. I mean, the Rockets team that he ended up going to and not improving. I mean, where does that come into play? Like, I do know that 19 season where was it 19? No, 17 when he averaged a triple-double?
Yep.
That season, I remember being at the Garden and John texting me and Jimmy just being furious about Westbrook, who was playing on another team on TV, right? He was home. And then, because it was constant. Everybody was saying that. I think it's hard with those numbers.
His passing makes his teams better. His horrible shooting and sometimes his horrendous decision making, especially in crunch time.
Yes.
That kills them. But he's gonna get them there. He's one of the best regular season players of this era.
He has to be able to share the court and the locker room and the camera with LeBron. That's all.
Come
really
playoff time. In the regular season, they're gonna win 1 million games.
They're going to be injured in load management all season.
Yes, but when LeBron's sitting, it'll be Westbrook scoring 30, 10, and 10, and when Westbrook's sitting, it'll be LeBron 27, 9, and 9.
And when Westbrook is scoring 30, 10, and 10, they're going to have a below 500 average, or win-loss total, and they're going to be a play-in team again because they're going to have injury after injury. I hope I'm
playing.
I'm wrong. Play-in's a bit of a stretch. I hope the play-in.
West isn't that great this year.
No, West. It's almost things are cyclical in basketball.
The East is great again.
You know what that means? Like what Kevin McHale said, right? Cyclical.
The East is really good this year.
Everybody went out east. They avoided LeBron. The West is boring, and LeBron's going to end up not playing in 50. That's a big problem for the NBA.
Speaking of the big men, the top two MVP, or the top three, because Giannis is a big man. Top three MVP candidates last year. Big men.
See?
Different kind of big men. They face up,
they
shoot.
But now.
Yeah.
But all it takes is a Kareem to come into the league with the sky hook to change everything. He may, but this Kareem is going to be able to shoot threes too. Yeah. He's going to be able to dribble, but he's going to have that back to the basket game. And every player, as they get older, LeBron is a good point in case. They always used to go down south and play with Hakeem and learn how to play with their back to the basket. As they get older, they play with their back to the basket more. Jordan did, Kobe did, so you see a fadeaway game, a mid-range game more so. And that's going to be, look at Tatum is being encouraged to pull his game in. Can you believe that? We just dealt with a decade of your taco, please shoot threes. I mean, I can't wait for this year. I'm actually starting to get excited that these guys might actually play tough. I think they will.
Can I make another recommendation that I think you'll like more?
Yes, because I'm running out of gas here, Bobby. We have 15 minutes left or I'm not getting dinner tonight.
All right. Kawhi.
Who are you removing?
Dave Bing.
Oh, Dave Bing. Yeah, I'll take that.
Kawhi is in.
You are so pumped.
I love Kawhi. He won a championship for the Raptors.
Never met a player that won a championship and then left in free agency not to defend the title And as you are a Raptors cheerleader, that should upset you.
It did.
But it
I
didn't
wish he
upset
could have
Raptors
stayed
fans.
there.
I mean, fans.
It was
just
their
don't
first
care
title ever. How could they be mad?
because he left. Like, dude, he left. Imagine if Jason Tatum left tomorrow.
If he did it after winning a championship, it wouldn't have hurt as bad.
Oh,
No,
it wouldn't hurt you that you couldn't
as
defend your
bad.
title. Not as bad. It would hurt me worse. It would be so stinging. Like you took the whole next year. You remember 08, you were young, but like 09, until KG got injured, the Celtics won 20 in a row. Like it was a huge win. Everything was all about Banner 18. That's all we talked about. So if we got Banner 18 and then couldn't talk about 19 the next year because our superstar left and made us a bottom dweller, I'd be furious. It's not like Tom Brady who gave them 20 years and a GOAT, run of everything. He gave them, made them a dynasty.
All right, let's speed this up and get you off to dinner.
Yep.
Anthony Davis.
No, definitely not. Is not on the list. I don't care who you remove. I don't think there's anybody on that list I'd remove for a man that spends the majority of his time injured. Tinfoil. Who are you removing?
Let's go with. I don't have specific cases here.
I might want to do this episode over because I like the way we're going now. It should have been done this way from the beginning.
Earl Monroe?
Absolutely not. You're not going to remove Earl the Pearl. He invented the spin move.
Jerry Lucas?
One of the toughest basketball players of all time.
Is he better than
one
Anthony
of the weakest?
Davis?
Yeah, I'd take Jerry Lucas because at least he could get on the court.
Bill Sharman.
Listen, hey, wait. Google who you're like Bill Walton. He's on your list. Google who Bill Walton's best teammate ever was. It wasn't Larry Bird. It was.
Is there anyone on this list you'll take off for Davis?
Yes. Yeah. For Davis, Sharman, I would.
All right. Davis has got to be on here.
But you're running out of space now, Bobby, because there's players better than Davis on your list.
Harden, for sure. We are getting down to it now. Is there a case for Damian Lillard?
No. Too young. I don't know. Not done enough. He's not too young. Is he 30?
He's 30. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not too young. I just don't know. I mean, the fact that I wanted him on the Celtics, but the fact that I can't tell you what he's really done other than that he's a good player and his style of play means he shouldn't be on the list. He's there with Paul Ars. I mean, what does he do? Who are you taking off? Like, you have better people on your list waiting in the waiting room right now. You know what I mean? Like, so
he's
in the
20.
green room.
He's 24, 4-6. So higher scoring average.
This would have been really good to do. Speaking of this would have been really good to do in like Spaces or in Spotify, because then we do the list and you let people come on and like green room to have interaction with because it's such a polarizing topic,
37% from three, not up there with the greats from three, Lillard, but he isn't that up. Dude. He isn't that.
You
have
better players behind you.
All right, we'll leave him.
Yeah.
Anyone else compelling here? Derrick Rose is a little compelling to me. At his height,
1 year,
maybe the best player in the league, and it was very, very short.
Then put Ernie DiGregorio on there too. He had Rookie of the Year, led the league in assists. He had the greatest year ever. 1 year. You don't even know who he is. He's from Providence.
What If is the story of Derrick Rose. Man, was he good.
What If is totally the story of Derrick Rose. He was unstoppable. That 1 year.
I'm going to take him out.
Year. You have to. I can't believe you're debating this.
All right, we're getting down to the end here. Just a couple more left in terms of my cases. I'm going to bring out the heavyweights. Nikola Jokic, the reigning MVP.
Okay. This is where it gets huge. Okay, so we're talking about where they are in their careers now. Not projecting out, because that's not fair.
But they did it in the 50.
Huh?
They did it for the 50 list.
No, they pretended Shaq belonged there. Seriously, that's what was so absurdly insulting to McAdoo.
Jokic now has 2 first-team appearances and a second-team appearance.
Okay, so let's just stop. Who are you removing? That's because I think Jokic is definitely a top 100 guy, but I don't know who you remove to get him 75.
Wes
And you
Unseld?
can remove somebody else you put in that I agreed already. To
Al
take
Greer?
somebody else. Yeah.
Right, let's put Jokic in there for now. Because I'm all
You
in
are
on
so
him.
You're
I
so
mean,
happy.
he has just done ridiculous things as a big man passer. Bob Ryan said he's the greatest big man passer ever already.
Yeah?
6 assists a game.
Over Walton, over Bird. Bird averaged more than 6 a game.
Was he a
Or
big
I
man?
think he averaged. Huh?
Was he a big man?
Bird?
Yeah.
Power forward. I mean, he really
No,
was.
we were talking centers.
How tall is he? Yeah.
He's
No,
7
you're
feet.
right. The only other one he could go, who you could put him against is Wilt, who led the league in assists on purpose, or Walton.
I
We
can't
took
wait.
Walton off the list. Huh?
I can't. There is a player I like more than Jokic, but man, has he been hurt, so you might not be able to make this. Joel Embiid.
I have wrestled with Joel Embiid in my head all day. All day. He's a tough
man. Has he been a monster?
If he just would get in shape too, because he's always out of gas by the fourth quarter, it seems like.
He should have been the MVP last year. I mean, if he didn't get hurt, he would have been. 28, 10, 3 assists a game.
Who are you removing? You can't remove Walton, or not Walton. You can't remove Parish or Cowens for Embiid.
Can I remove Billy Cunningham?
Yeah, but I don't know who's left in your green room right now. That all makes a difference.
I have one more big case that I'm really pushing, and it's Luka. Can we get someone out of there for Luka? It's so early. But let me read.
Yeah, Luka's in his 3rd year, dude. You can't.
He's in his 4th. They're coming in his 4th.
Okay, so you're putting him at the equivalent of Shaq for that colossal error. You're leaving somebody. You're leaving somebody out that like an equivalent of Dominique Wilkins and Bob McAdoo to put in a 3-year player who's probably gonna have a great career, but they may always suck.
But think of his production these first 3 years: 21, 28, 27. Those scoring averages.
Crazy.
He rebounds.
There's nobody else
on
the team, though, Bobby. He's playing LeBron.
He has LeBron numbers through 3 years.
But Bobby, he's the only option. You just named his starting 5. I don't recognize any of them.
Porzingis. Yeah, I mean, the stats are inflated slightly.
Porzingis never plays.
But he averages 7 assists a game.
Dude,
with those bums.
I get it. But he's also has to be the focal point of everything in order for them to even, I don't know what you call win any games. I mean, listen, that's like.
They're 4 or 5 seed each of the last 2 years.
What?
They were either the 4 or 5 seed each of the last 2 years.
How bad is the West? Dallas was?
That's how good he is.
But no, you're guessing. Go pull that up. They were the 4th or the 5 seed?
Yeah, because they played the Clippers in those, or maybe 2 years ago they were the one of the lower seeds, but
not a home court advantage seed.
They were the 7 seed in 2020.
Okay.
And last year they were the 5 seed.
That's not bad. What was their win-loss last year?
42 and 30.
The Lakers were absent. The West.
They were better than the Lakers. Oh no, they were tied with the Lakers.
Yeah, I mean that's not bad, but still, you can't. You would have to remove a legend. You'd have to remove. I still am trying to figure out who you're removing.
Dave DeBusschere. Can we bring him out?
No, I already took DeBusschere out. I don't know if that matters because I don't know if my list matters, but I took DeBusschere out for Kobe.
Or Kobe. Well, Kobe's in that firm first 25. We're on the edges now.
I had to remove people from my list to put them in.
Oh, yeah. All right, I'm going to squeeze Luka in there since you removed him too for now. We might have to adjust that going back and circling back.
I love Luka.
We are very close to the end of the addition ideas that I have here. I have 2 left. Man, you're going to hate this one.
Okay, so this is what I've been waiting for. These are so the listeners and the viewers know, this is casual what we're doing here because we're going to break these into mini vignettes for each player where there's enough go around, or at least maybe, players groups of 10. I just talked to Embiid about that, so he's going to timestamp them, Bobby.
Yeah.
But basically, we need a drum roll in post. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. Who Bobby Manning is removing two of the greatest big men of all time for?
Oh no!
Who just happened to be?
Oh, you make it sound so bad now.
Who just happened to be on the team that he growing up now?
This is so perfect. This is so perfect. Because guess who I'm going to say?
You're not going to stump me because the answer's no. You could fight me, though. This has been a massacre so far. I think I have
This is so perfect. Get ready for what I'm about to say. Nick's head is going to, go nuclear.
I'll go Tommy.
I removed, now, not officially, because I took some guys out, like Clay, and Clay will probably be out. And, I removed Grant Hill. I removed a couple other guys.
Yeah. You can't have 200 guys, Bobby. Clay's got to be out.
I removed
a handful. Two.
I removed a handful of guys already. For the last two recommendations, for Dave Collins, for Robert Parish.
I hope you looked up your numbers here. Not even numbers, your story.
Kyrie Irving.
No. I knew that was one. I was prepared for it. Who you would choose? First of all, you make your case. Now, you have to make the case, though, as to we know Kyrie's skill level is. I just called him the most skilled Celtic ever.
Mm-hmm.
But
he's got a championship that he
won.
I
don't care about that because these guys have well more than he does, and we're contending teams every single year of their career, just about. So why? Which one are you removing for Kyrie? We have to pinpoint this now.
For now, I guess it's one of those two. But there's a handful. I removed Nate Thurman.
Which one? No, you can't. You will have 120 players, Bobby. You just keep rattling in these players and not. We have to.
No, I've removed some of those guys that I recommended.
Yeah, but you have to know how many in order for us to. It has to match up.
I had all these. I had all these guys. Now I still have everybody that you have in there. We had Dolph Shays out. I still have Lenny Wilkins, Wes Unseld, Nate Thurman, Robert Parish, Earl Monroe, Jerry Lucas. Not yet.
Jerry Lucas can go.
Jerry Lucas can go for Kyrie?
Not for Kyrie. No, yeah. I mean, because here was going to be.
How about for Harden?
I have to be. Yes, definitely for Harden.
All right, Harden is in.
Now, look how psyched you are. Now, here's why. I want to make this real clear to the audience if anybody's watching. Bobby, I don't know. I think you know this after all these years. I'm very fair and reasonable. I'll admit when I'm wrong, right? For the most part. I'm not one of those guys who just insists until the end of time, or I'll just say you're not going to convince me, right? So I'll say, listen, man, I agree with you on Harden, right? Mm-hmm. And I'll say to you, my criteria is if you're starting a team tomorrow, you're going to pick Kyrie Irving or Robert Parish. I'm picking Robert Parish or Dave Collins, but I'm not picking Jerry Lucas. So you could put Harden in and take Lucas out.
I have one more recommendation. Kyrie,
and I gave you the guy. I was like, you can take Lucas out.
I'm not going to cry if Kyrie doesn't make it, but man, you got these two attributes with him. Best dribbler ever, best finisher ever. Man,
and he's not the best finisher.
Those are two big attributes.
Max would agree with you, but I disagree. I don't think he's the best finisher ever, and I question if he's the best dribbler ever. Because I never saw
best dribbler ever. Remember that split move he did in his second game with the Celtics, where he split the two guys and just squeezed between them sideways?
Have you seen him do how many yo-yos he does, which are travels, but they're beautiful?
He pulled the chair out from Curry. Man, did he dominate Curry?
Do you know who created all these names? Pull the chair out, the air ball, the yo-yo, the slam dunk. You know who?
Who?
Chick Hearn. For the Lakers, the Johnny Most's alter ego, the Lakers play-by-play.
We've talked about I mean, Kyrie really is such a tragedy in many ways because man was the skill set there.
Tragic story. I'd love to put him in, but
even through it all, when he got on the court last year and actually showed up, 27, 6, 5, shot 50, 40, 90. He was ridiculous last year.
But listen, I mean, I'm not going to put it. Go ahead. If you want me to say anything on this topic, which you knew my answer was, I won't let go on this because I do think being part of this fraternity of players, right, which will eventually evolve in 25 years. I'll be 75, probably dead, or we'll be doing this show and I'll be really old. In 25 years, it'll be 100 players of all time. And each one of those players have to, and we didn't put David Thompson in there, which is a problem, but each one of those players.
He's on my honorable mention.
I'm proud of you. So anyway, each of those players have to not just be the best. They have to also help to make the game the best. They have to add to the league and the image and grow. Every year,
you're right.
You have to pass the baton, or else the league health is not going to be good. So, and Kyrie doesn't do that.
I'm not putting Kyrie on. I just want to bring up his name.
Boy, I convinced you with that one.
No, it's a great argument. Again, he's really tailing off in the games played. And plus, his early career before LeBron arrived kind of stunk. I know he was really young. Like, that matters now. Guys coming in the
really
league
loved
so young.
him. I thought he was so good, though. But you're right. They sunk. But he had a bad team around him.
Mm-hmm.
I think at the end of the day, he's the only player in the history in 21 years, or however many years LeBron's playing, 19 years, that didn't want to play with him.
You'll like this comment.
Yuri Welsh. I know somebody who had a Yuri Welsh jersey, and I'm like, how did they get that? They had to have it custom made because they are not selling jerseys.
I have one more recommendation for you. One I think you'll like.
I'm trying to figure out who Parish and Cowan. So are they staying on your list? You back down.
They have a good case. They have a good case to stay at this point because you've convinced me to knock a couple people off.
Yeah.
One last recommendation. One last recommendation. I have some honorable mentions, but I know they're not good enough probably. Tony Parker.
No, but honorable mentions could be anybody. I don't have to approve them.
Tony Parker.
I've thought about Parker and Ginobili. Again, I don't know who you'd remove. I mean, I don't know who you'd remove. I mean, DJ? Like, is DJ in there? Yeah, he's in there.
DJ's not on my list. He's honorable mention.
Dennis Johnson. He needs to be. Tony Parker's not even in the discussion. Then we got to talk about DJ for a moment.
You think DJ's better than Parker?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. So we will cut
Parker.
And I think,
yeah, and I'm going to tell you why, Bobby. Because Dennis Johnson was a superstar before he came to Boston. He took a diminished role. He had already won a championship. He was a Finals MVP. He was all defense. He was an all-star, prolific, and Seattle was just. Him, Gus, and Sigma, like these guys built a really good franchise out there that won championships, you know? So by the time Dennis got to Boston, he was ready to be what the Celtics needed him to be. Kind of like Tiny. He's on your list, right, Tiny?
Tiny's the first one out. We can make a case.
No, there's no case. He was MVP and led the league in assists.
All right, who are we taking out?
Wait a minute. He led the league in scoring and assists in the same year. If you take out Westbrook, if you're going to put Westbrook in,
I mean someone from the original list.
Yeah,
Westbrook's not on here yet, I don't think. Yeah, did we end up putting him in?
I would take out Drexler, DeBusschere, we already took out.
How about
Wait a minute, is Spencer Haywood on here?
No.
He's got to go in too.
Is Earl Monroe surviving?
What?
Is Earl Monroe surviving?
Yes. He is the original schoolyard, dude.
Is Paul Westphal surviving?
He may have to go back off. I think we have to take Westphal off. I mean, we took Sharman off, right? Did we take Nate Thurman? Oh, Nate Thurman? I think Nate Thurman was Kareem.
Nate Thurman's still there.
And I think he has to stay because Kareem, he says he's his best. He defended him the best.
Wes Unseld's still there. Lenny Wilkins.
Wes Unseld was too good. Lenny Wilkins. I'd take Wilkins off, but I mean, that would be a sin years ago. I guess you could take Wilkins off. You could take DeBusschere off. Dave DeBusschere. Do you know who he played for?
Who?
The Knicks. So wait, you
Is
took
Billy
DeBusschere
Cunningham
off.
surviving?
No, we already took Billy.
Yeah, we did.
We took Billy Cunningham off. This is when it gets fun. We took Dave Bing off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of sticking around Pippen, Clyde.
We currently have 1, 2, 3 spots to still add guys in. And we can take, right now we have Jokic, Luka, Embiid, Collins and Parish are still there. Earl Monroe's still there.
Yeah.
Tiny is in. Tiny is in. Davis is in. We have 3 open spots right now, and we can remove any one of these guys.
Spencer Hayward has to be in there. So who do I have to remove?
We can put in Hayward. There's an open spot.
All right, put him in. Dude, and the Big E can't go anywhere. Just Google his career numbers.
Who?
Elvin Hayes. I mean, this is a
Hayes
guy
is
that
in.
played.
Hayes is in.
Okay.
All right, so here's who we're still considering. Klay Thompson. At this point, can we make a case?
We can make a case. I don't know who would we have to remove.
We have 2 open spots right now.
Oh, then I would. Who else is up against Klay?
Lillard, Dwight, Westbrook.
I think Klay can stay.
Westbrook, we're not putting in. I like Westbrook more than Klay. It's close.
Klay won 4 championships and was crucial, pivotal role in all 4.
You're right. We'll put in Klay. All right.
The only thing that hesitates me on Klay is the injuries, but that is trying to foresee the future, and hopefully he comes back and he's healthy. But he's already given you 9 great seasons, right?
Yep.
Or 7.
We have 1 spot left, and I have some honorable mention names if we want to kick them around too.
Did we take Bob Pettit out?
Nope, he's still in.
He could go.
All right, 2 spots are open. We gotta fit Tommy in if you want him.
Oh, Tommy's got to be in. So you got to just replace Tommy with Pettit. I mean, Tommy,
because Tommy wasn't on the 50 team.
Yeah, he was. 100%.
No, he wasn't. I had all the 50 guys here. He wasn't on it.
Then put that right there, and you could ask anybody who knows anything about the history of the game. Put that there with Bob McAdoo and ahead of Bob McAdoo and Dominique Wilkins, because Tommy was Rookie of the Year in the same year as Russell. Think about that. There might have been prejudice involved in that. I'm not sure, but he was Rookie of the Year. He was a leading scorer on the Celtics through the first, I think, 6 championships. So Sam Jones got there. I think 5 championships.
We have 1 spot left.
Bobby, Tommy played 9 seasons and won 8 titles, I think. How could you not have him in there?
Should our final guy on the list be Dwight Howard? Or is it Russell Westbrook?
We don't have Sam Jones in there either.
Do we have Sam Jones? We
No,
do.
and he needs to. We do? All right. KC does not need to be there. Dwight Howard, who are we not putting in for Dwight?
If we don't put in Dwight, it'll be Russ. I think we're down to Russell Westbrook and Dwight Howard.
Or Embiid.
Embiid's in right now.
So it's Dwight or Russ. Dwight won a title. The team wanted him
Dwight
back.
didn't win a title. He made a title game. So did Russ, though. He made the 2012 finals.
No, but he won it with the Lakers, Dwight.
Oh, come on.
He was dude. They brought him back because he was a pivotal role. He made a big difference on that team.
If you put Russ on that team, would they have won in Dwight's place?
No.
I don't know. Come
You're
on.
going based solely off of your little dork Excel spreadsheet. No offense. But that's what you're doing. Because you're not accounting for chemistry. And Dwight, we've already proved it. He went to LA with 2 superstars and failed miserably. But he was ready to accept the role now because he wanted to win, and he was the difference maker. One of them.
We're going to leave Russell Westbrook out of the top. I mean, we could cut another guy. But right now, we're going to leave Russell Westbrook out of it.
For me, it's a toss-up. I think, I wasn't decided yet. I was putting the pros and cons. So my pros with Dwight are obviously his first dominant years.
His 5-year prime.
That 5-year prime was besides the fact that Kendrick Perkins stopped him he was pretty unstoppable, like against any other player. And then
They
on
beat
top
that
of that,
really good Cavs team in 2009 too.
he goes out with he disappears for a couple, loses his mind. Then he ends up in LA, and they win a championship. Not saying he definitely contributed.
He's been on so many teams.
But he'll be remembered for the Lakers and the Magic. I can't even remember where. I mean, I know Atlanta was.
Can you name all the teams he's been on?
Houston, Atlanta. Did you just say Cleveland? I don't remember him on Cleveland.
No.
Houston
Charlotte.
and Atlanta.
He played
I don't
Charlotte.
remember that. I mean,
he was on the Nets for a minute, but they cut him. He was on the Hawks.
I would say the reason that is most compelling to me is he could accept the role after being an MVP and a superstar and leave, and they want him back. That says a lot. And Kurt
Getting
Rambis,
the title was huge for him. You're right.
Yeah, but also the fact that the Lakers want him back, they feel like that was a huge difference. I mean, Kurt Rambis said that outright on Michael Cooper's show. Outright. He said Dwight was not having Dwight made a huge, huge impact. But Bobby, if we wait any longer, I'm not going to have dinner.
Can we try to fit Russell Westbrook on here before you go?
Well, go ahead. Tell me what. I just got to order my dinner while I'm on the phone with you.
We have Earl Monroe.
Can't for Dwight or
Nate Thurman. And we have Wes Unseld.
I have to confirm that what position did Nate Thurman play? Center?
I mean, none of these guys have stats that would stack up to Russ. Let's see Nate Thurman.
No, but it doesn't matter. There was more to the game than stats and numbers. So if Kareem Abdul-Jabbar
he played center.
Yeah, and he said Kareem said, what years did he play?
63 to 77.
Yeah, and Kareem is on record with an easy Google search of who was Kareem's toughest defender. He always says Nate Thurman.
Wes Unseld?
He won a championship.
Earl Monroe?
You could say, yeah. The old timers would get mad. I don't agree with it, but
if you had to take out any one of those three guys for Russ, who would it be?
Who name them again?
Earl Monroe, Wes Unseld, and Nate Thurman.
Nate Thurman.
So we can officially put in Russ for Nate Thurman? Come on.
I think
if you say it, you can go to dinner.
Yeah.
So there it is. It took us 2 hours, but we have named the 75 greatest players ever. Oh, man, and I got a decent amount of the new era in here. But Dave Cowens and Robert Parish survived in the end, so I think we made some good compromises.
I think we need to do some sort of a poll on if Robert Parish would not be on there, people's top 75. And then the other thing to do is, let's do a poll on, I don't know, how shocked everyone is that I let all these newbies on. I let a lot of newbies on. I would say I did. Don't you think I let a lot of current players on?
I hate to say it. There's one more guy we got to squeeze in. If you really want him on. I mean, this is one of your guys. Dennis Johnson.
I said DJ. We just did it. We did
where
DJ.
Where are we going to fit Johnson in?
We already did it. We took out somebody. I can't remember who. You're the one keeping track there, but we took somebody out. DJ I brought up.
We have Hayward.
Remember I was saying about Seattle and all that?
We have Hayward. We have Clay. We have Embiid, Luka, Jokic, Harden. Earl Monroe still in there. Parish is still in there. Tommy is in. Tiny is in. Davis, Russ, Wes Unseld, Dwight.
Get Davis out of that list.
Dennis Johnson's going in over Davis? We want to get this right. I guarantee I will give you $100, Nick, if they announce this list over the next 3 days and Davis is not on it. I guarantee he'll be on it.
I'm not taking that bet, dude. They look at what they butchered the top 50, and they're worse now. If they let Adam Silver pick this list, there'll be nobody before LeBron on it. He's going against.
I'm not gonna let you take Davis off, ready? Because I gotta make the case for him. I didn't make a strong one.
Dude, how many? Go through his years in the league. How many he's played? I mean, what he did and just
He has 4 all-first teams, 2 defensive first
how
teams.
many games did he play, and what was their record?
Oh, they were bad in New Orleans, but they did make a second round the year they had DeMarcus.
Yeah, the one year it was that was why. But let's look at his games played, please. You want to take out Robert Parish? He's played the most games in NBA history for a soft Sherman towel.
64, 67, 68, 61, 75, 75, 56, 62, 36. It's not horrible.
Not that bad. I thought it was way worse.
His career average is 24, 10, and 2.3 blocks per game.
Are those I have to, sorry people, I have to get up while we do this. Were those games played, you're saying?
Nick, let me just ask you this.
You're Jimmy rigging those because he didn't play for a year with New Orleans. He sat out. He was a holdout.
They made him come back. The league wouldn't let him sit out. But
I just can't. You have all these guys who are going to denigrate the game.
If I asked you right now, you're GM Nick, you're about to start your own franchise, and you can start. Mm-hmm. I'm either going to give you Dennis Johnson, or I'm going to give you Anthony Davis.
Dennis Johnson.
What? Oh, you're going to be fired within 3 years. We got to settle this. Is there anywhere else we can put Davis in here? Can we put Davis over Wes Unseld?
I think we could continue that discussion on the next episode of this because
we got to finalize.
You could make a tweet out there and make fun of me, and everyone on Twitter who thinks the league started with Anthony Davis.
Can we put Davis over Spencer Haywood?
No. Look at Spencer's numbers, dude. You're only looking at your players' numbers. Look at these. Please, you wanted Elvin Hayes off. Look at his numbers, please.
I didn't want Elvin Hayes off. He's top 10.
Yes, you did.
No, he's 11.
Huh?
He was top 10. Now he's 11 in scoring. Oh, Spencer Haywood's numbers are pretty good.
Are you fucking kidding me? He's one of the best of all time.
All right.
Like I'm gonna ask you. Prolifically seen as that.
I'm gonna ask you one more time. Well, can we put Davis over Russ?
Oh yeah. No. Yeah, he won. Yeah.
I'm willing to do that. If that's really where you want to compromise,
I'm willing to do that, but I'm not joking about Dennis Johnson. I really would pick DJ over. But see, that you're always starting a team with the big man, so that's tough. But I know that he's going to play defense. He's going to be an Iron Man and play in every game. He's going to hit big shots. He's not going to shrink in big moments. He's not going to be injured every other game.
I hate leaving Russ off this list. Can we put Russ over Dwight?
You can do whatever you want, but I don't endorse it.
I don't know if I do either. I think this is where we stand.
Dwight has been a debatable topic for the Hall of Fame. So think about how much that makes this debatable. You know what I mean? Because people are like, you can't not with Dwight, but it pains me to put him in there. But he's got to be in there because he was Defensive Player of the Year one year. He was MVP. Took his team to the finals. A mediocre team. They were okay. They weren't amazing.
I'm going to try one more time before we leave.
He beat LeBron, the 62 and 20 LeBron. Go ahead.
Can we put Russ in over Earl Monroe?
No. I don't know. Yeah, we could do that. No, wait. There's got to be somebody better than Earl. I know you're so persistent. I know you won't stop.
I just looked at Earl's numbers.
Yeah.
He did win a championship though, didn't he?
Yeah, he won a championship with New York. He was with the Wizards and the Knicks. See, the thing that's tough with me with him is he's still referenced, and he brought Schoolyard to back. He was one of the first guys to bring the Rutgers Park to the NBA. So that smooth, what are his numbers like? I can't remember.
18 points a game.
In the teens. Yeah.
And 3 rebounds, 4 assists.
Yeah. But he was just part of that crew. I think we could find somebody better to remove. We took Jerry Lucas out. terrible. We took Hal Greer out.
I can't do Scotty for Russ. I like Scotty. Drexler?
I would do Drexler for Russ because
Let's do it.
Drexler didn't have a clutch bone in his body, and he
did
was
it.
weak. Jordan and Bird just beat the shit out of him all the time.
I can't believe we did it, but we did it. We agree. We've put together the 75 greatest players ever. I'm gonna put it on a list. Yeah, I'll put it on a list. I'll send it out on clnsmedia.com at some point this week, and we'll compare it to the real list. We'll see where we went wrong and where we were 100% right over the course here. Honorable mentions real quick before we send you out of here, Nick.
Mm-hmm.
Mutombo, not quite, but
He's another one though that's loved.
Dennis Rodman, not quite, but man, could he rebound?
Rodman, I struggled with. He made every team better. You know, he has how many titles? 2 with Detroit, 3 with Chicago.
Best rebounder ever.
Maybe.
But he's not quite on that list.
I
love Green.
The best rebounder ever. There was less shots taken than there was in Russell's era and Chamberlain. So just by the numbers, you'd have to think Rodman was a better rebounder. But there was no comparison that annoyed Russell and Chamberlain more than when they put out that Sports Illustrated cover saying best rebounder ever. So to know how much that means to them and how annoying that is to them, I think I'll say Rodman could stay off. It hurts, but
Manu, tough to keep him off, but
I thought about Manu.
Chris Bosh, man, Chris Bosh was really good, but not quite.
Yeah, it was soft.
Joe Dumars,
thought about Dumars.
Mo Cheeks, not quite.
That one I struggled with. I wanted to put him on.
Ben Wallace, not quite.
I thought about Rasheed. No.
Chris Mullin was tough to keep off, but not quite.
Tough.
Chauncey Billups, really tough, but not quite. You know, I thought about Draymond Green. Couldn't do it.
Yeah, Draymond. He's definitely. I think he'd be top 100.
You know who I'd love to get in there? Maybe he can make the top 100, but he's not in the 75. As we talked about him earlier this week, Jimmy Butler. I think Jimmy Butler's a really great player.
I don't think he's in the top. Yeah.
Yeah, just too tumultuous of a career. Not great enough numbers. But, man, that run he went on with the Heat in the bubble, those are 2 of the best finals performances ever. Those 2 games they won.
That one, we had that one segment come out with the music, and it had all his different shots. It was really good. I didn't like Butler. I always was like, Danny.
Remember him exhausted, hanging over the baseline? They still show that picture.
He was
good.
The bubble was great. It was great basketball. The bubble.
It was so much fun. Imagine if we were there.
Eerie. I'm glad we weren't there, dude. Did you really? I mean, the only thing is you could write a book.
Yeah.
But I don't know that you really could write a book because
I thought Gary was going to write a book. Someone from
I think he would have too, but
I think someone from Washington Post did it.
Yeah,
Ben Golliver.
I mean, the access was so limited, you didn't really get to see because like the media was in a different part of the campus and all that. I don't know. To me, the bubble was like jarring and eerie, but I was having some mental issues at that point with the isolation and all that. This past year, though, I couldn't watch it with no fans in the stands. Like seeing the Garden empty, it made it more noticeable how much fans are important to basketball in particular. Like hockey, it's not that important. Although the fans are raucous, they're so far back, they're so far removed. Football doesn't. I mean, and baseball, they're used to empty stadiums until the playoffs. So basketball, you're right up close.
Real quick, I just want to remind everybody because it was so great. 40 points, 13 assists, 11 rebounds in a game 3 win in the finals, and then game 5 with the series on the line, 35, 11 assists, 12 rebounds, 5 steals. Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler. Yeah, I mean that was. And I would always say like Danny, no, because he was obsessed with Butler. Remember that was the one he always said he let slip away. That and Tony Allen.
His attitude, man, could he would.
His attitude was
if Ime asked him to be captain, he would have taken it.
Who are our captains?
I don't think they're gonna do it. We'll see. They're not excited about it.
But they made a big deal about it. Now they have to do something.
The coach made a big deal, and then Brown said, "Oh, it should be Al." And then Smart said, "Captains don't matter." And then Tatum said, "Yeah, he's right. Captains don't matter."
No, well, listen, Tatum's looking for any reason not to answer the question. Al probably could be a case for captain. And Marcus, I love him to death, but he's just bitter because he's not up for being the captain because he wants to be the captain. Captain's important, I think. I mean, I think what we've seen in the Stevens era, it was the first time I saw no captain. And it was kind of like...
They said we're going to have two captains. Who is it?
I know. Tatum and Brown.
Yes. And
but
they just didn't embrace it. All they had to do was say it'd be a great honor. That's all they had to do.
You know, Bobby, I'm shocked that you're saying this, but you're right. You might be right.
Brown kind of said that. Tatum just didn't seem to want it at all.
Because Tatum gives no indication whatsoever that that he even cares that he's a part of this franchise. He doesn't, dude. What does he do to make you think that? The only thing he did was sign that 5-year deal, but there's so many millions of dollars involved there that you don't even know. Like, and I could be totally wrong, but he doesn't do, from a fan, not media, from a fan perspective, Tatum doesn't do anything to reassure me that he buys into the Celtics way, which is the mystique, the history, and bringing the culture and winning above everything.
For now, I'm okay with him getting better and better and better every year because eventually he'll reach a point where he's just too good.
But that's good. But that's usually your motivation to get better and better and better every year is to build your legacy, and you build your legacy through winning. Every single thing on our list fed back to winning.
I will say they don't get credit for 2020 because they blew up at the end, but that was a really good run. Hayward got hurt, and Tatum and Brown carried them.
Something happened there in that with Marcus and all that. Something happened that still is unfinished business. And what you sent me on Kemba, that was like, shoo.
Good preview for Wednesday. We are live in New York. Kemba versus the Celtics. He's going to
score about 70 points. Get ready for cardiac because it's coming. I mean, I'm not
that place is going to be rocking for his return. Oh, they're going to be so...
You are so lucky. Like, you have gotten to see, in the short time you're doing this, such iconic games. Like, that Tatum game is the best.
New York's been waiting for Kemba to put on a Knicks uniform for like 10 years.
10 years, his whole career. So, that's going to be absurd. Plus, it's MSG to begin with. Plus, they're pretty good.
That's where he hit his iconic shot.
Yeah, he hit that iconic shot there. I mean, MSG, that was all amazing. The Celtics will probably get killed. They'll definitely lose. Maybe not. I don't know. The Knicks aren't great.
Can they go after Kemba? Can they put Tatum on some switches on Kemba and Fournier? That might work.
But Kemba's going to score about 70. I mean, he is so mad. I was talking to a former player who said players get hurt when they're not wanted. And I think that Kemba sounded angry, but it was more like, I didn't even know I was being traded. It was like, and I don't know, did Ainge trade him or did Stevens?
Stevens.
Because it was a very Danny-esque, like we always say, we'd say Danny, players don't respect him because of this, that. It was a very Danny-esque thing to do because they lied and said that they spoke to him. I don't want to get into this. There's been a lot of inconsistencies and a lot of different things.
I think Brad did it.
Well, they say that it was a done deal when Dan. Remember, I was telling you that. I'm like, no, this was done during the first round. Like they knew that he had to go.
They might have agreed. Might have been a joint decision.
Well, clearly it wasn't, bro. Oh, you mean Danny and Brad? I think Danny and Brad agree on a lot more than we would like to say. I just think one of them had to go, and Danny was
subtle
the fall
differences.
Guy.
Subtle differences, yeah.
So you would know better than me now, but subtle. I don't know who's pulling the strings because there's a lot of like just weird. I'd rather not comment on this right now.
Hey, we have all season. Yeah,
let's see how the season plays out.
What a list.
What a list, and nothing. How many Celtics are on that list?
Ooh, great question. I'll get back to you. Put in the article.
Yeah. And yeah, add up the Celtics and the Lakers. How many there are? Because that's obviously the obvious question. And then the other thing is, what a list. And also, the last 3 years of basketball has been full of drama and questioning and just so much weirdness. It's gonna be effing great to see Madison Square Garden jammed on Wednesday. Know I got a guy there, and then when they get back here to Boston Garden, just knowing there's basketball in the city. Like tonight, I can see Fenway, the lights.
Next weekend, we got Red Sox maybe wrapping up this series, and the Celtics playing here at the Garden on Friday. So, Red Sox 9-3. Oh my God, they're going to be 2 wins from the World Series.
How much do you credit? How much do you credit Alex Cora? And
speak of a coach, he's solidifying himself as the best coach in Red Sox history.
I know the Yankees better than the Red Sox, but I can't disagree with you. In my time here, he is.
His first year, he had the best record in Red Sox history, I think.
Dude, and they were like a Cinderella team, too. They were not expected to be that amazing and to see the turnaround. But then also, or is it the enforcement of the stick'em rule with the pitchers, which is saving baseball? Because
that saved the Red Sox. The pitchers were dominating early this year, and the Red Sox are an offensive team.
You look at the games, and they're actually, take away the fact that it's fall, because we'd all watch anyway.
And thank God they did that. I could not stand seeing the average hitter hit 220 and strike out a million times.
Baseball has always thrived with the home run derby and with hitting. They want hitting. A pitcher's game is boring. A no-hitter's fine once in a while.
Especially when it's no names throwing no-hitters. You know how many no-hitters there were early this year? Like 9.
I feel like it was a brilliant move with the MLB, and you don't hear me say things like this often, but a brilliant move by the MLB to do a subtle tweak of enforcing a rule that's been around for 100 years and have the game totally change immediately. It impacted the game immediately. Hits. It was like Mickey Mantle and Roger Maris were back, Anyway, I got to go,
this
bro.
Red Sox team, but great list. We will be talking throughout the season, I'm sure, in some occasional spots. Make sure you tune in tomorrow.
I'm sure I'll be in the chat room for post games occasionally. I'm not going to be around as much as I've been in previous seasons because we're freaking between, everything going just very busy, man. Today was crazy. So, but I'll be around the chat rooms. I'm sure I'll be called into action once in a while and get some boomerage going.
I think you're going to finally get my prediction, too, on the record standing season tomorrow as well. So stay tuned for that.
I never do. I do them begrudgingly. I'm wondering if you have them winning 50 games.
You'll see tomorrow.
I'll see tomorrow.
All right, Nick Gelso, everybody.
See you, folks.
Garden Report, Dome Theory. We will talk to you later this week, I believe.
Yes.